Have you ever wondered where the problems in the world today would exist if we had deeper connection to ourselves, others, and the environment and acted from that place? Welcome to the Conscious Action Podcast with your host, Brian Berneman, who believe that connection is the key to taking conscious action as individuals and creating a better world. We are here to raise awareness and inspire meaningful action by sharing stories, knowledge, and conversations with thought leaders and change makers. From sustainability to well-being and everything related to conscious living, our mission is to empower you to be the change that you want to see in the world. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Conscious Action Podcast. I am Brian Berneman, your host. For this episode, I wanted to explore the antidote for stress. Stress is a topic that I explore a lot. I teach this at university. I work with this a lot with the businesses and organizations I work with. It's something that I explore with a lot of my clients for healings, for coaching. Most of the work that I do, really, stress is a big component of it. And we need to understand a lot of times that we live mostly in a society that is chronically stressed. This is a great mechanism of survival, and yet most of us have no idea what it is, how we experience it, and what do we do with it. And the most important aspect, the biggest antidote for stress is presence. Being present is the most important aspect that is going to actually allow us to either navigate or to no longer be stressed. And it seems simple, and it is not that easy. We don't mostly know how to be present. We are places, we are not fully there. We don't know how to do that. We haven't been taught, shown, modeled what it's like to be fully present, whatever it is that we're doing, whenever it is that we're doing it, with whoever it is that we're with. I find a lot of times, and I tell this mostly to my university students, I tell them, I know that you are here physically, but most of you are not here fully. Most of you are not paying attention to what I'm sharing, to what other students are sharing. Most of you are either thinking about something that happened before, that you are thinking about what you should have done or how you could have done that differently, or projecting into the future, whatever it is coming, or creating different scenarios, ideas. It's not that all of that is bad. It's just that as we're doing that, we are not present. This is one of the things that throughout the last 20 years, I have learned more and more and more, is that with practices like mindfulness, meditation, conscious movement, yoga, different practices that worked for me, I've been able to understand how to be more present in the present moment, not just physically there, being fully present. And in order to do this, we need to understand why we're not doing it. We need to understand all of the things that came before, both in our upbringing, our childhoods, in our past lives, perhaps, if you believe in that, with our ancestors, with our parents, all of the things that we learned that conditioned us in a way that we are mostly escaping the present moment. We're escaping what is happening because we don't know how to be with it. We don't know how to process it. We don't know how to feel it. We don't know how to think about it. As we are in autopilot and survival mode, Stress is wonderful. Dissociating from the experience is wonderful. It allows us to survive. You can check out so many episodes during the podcast that we explore different ways of healing and different reasons why this is taking place. We, a lot of times, are not comfortable with the amount of experience of suffering, of pain, of discomfort that there is if we are actually present, if we're actually present in the body and we allow experience instead of trying to control it, repress it, push it away. When we understand that there's reasons why we have been doing this, we can be kind with ourselves. And it's not that this has been wrong, whatever it is that we've been doing up until now. When we understand that, okay, we learned all of this and we needed to do this. The people that came before us needed to do this in order to survive. Now, do I want to keep on doing this? Keep on having these different patterns of behavior? Do I want to keep on living with stress chronically and not being able to stop, not being able to restore, to relax? To just think and think and think and worry and worry and worry and be anxious and anxious and depressed and burn out. If we don't want that any longer, and again, it's not that that's bad per se, it's just that that's survival. If you're ready to be able to live well, to be well, then we need to address how to become more and more present. We need to embrace the fact that, okay, we have done things in a way up until now, and now we can choose something different. Now we can allow the capacity that we already have. You already have the capacities to self-regulate and to navigate experiences and to be present. This isn't something that you need to, in a sense, learn. What you need to do and what I had to do, and I keep on doing, is unlearning. Unlearning what I have learned because that is preventing me from being well and from being present. What I have learned, consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter. I need to unlearn that in order to allow me to do things differently, in order to allow me to come back to what is already possible within the capacity that I have. We all have the means to be present. We all have the means to stop being stressed. And by stress, I'm talking about the negative side of this. This is something that I teach a lot about. There's a positive side of stress, let's call it, that I usually like to call it tension instead of stress, just for the sake of not having the same word meaning different things. So, how can we stop that negative side, the patterns and the tendencies that take place from that stress? And it's a choice to unlearn. And sometimes, yes, to learn different things, to be able to see something new and different, to be able to explore a different way. And in our society that really values movement, productivity, efficiency, a lot of times just being present, allowing time for self-care, allowing time to nurture ourselves, allowing time to stop, to relax, to restore, to replenish. All of that, since it's not well or it's not seen as a productive thing, we don't value it. And that is really one of the things that we need to unlearn. We need to give ourselves the time. This is part of finding balance in life, or if you don't connect with the word balance, to find a rhythm that is supportive for you, or a way that is supportive for you to actually allow all of your experience and not just the doing and not just the work and not just the productive in terms of an output. We need to understand that there's a lot of things that we have been taught that don't work. How we live mostly in our Western modern society doesn't work for 99.999% of the people. So why are we still doing that? We need to stop. We need to reassess. We need to choose, because we can choose. We can be courageous and choose something different than what the rest of the people are doing. And when we are present, we are already doing something radical. We are doing something that is, in a sense, revolutionary. We are creating change. And when we create change for ourselves, we create change for the collective. Because if I am more present, and then you see that, and you actually perhaps get something out of that because you're being shown how it is to be present, then you might actually get a glimpse of it and choose to do something different. And the ripple effect from that is what creates change. So by you becoming more present, you're making a huge change for yourself and for all of us. So I do invite you to explore, how do you become more present? We all need different ways. I have explored this multiple times. This is why I have loved through the 20 plus years exploring different techniques, different methodologies, different traditions, because different aspects of myself and at different stages and moments, I needed something different. We all need something different. What are the practices, the perspectives, the traditions, the methodologies that are going to work for you to enable you to be present? Because it's not about the practices, it's not about the tradition, it's not about the methodologies. It's about becoming more present and aware. The more aware that we are, the more present that we are, that's all that matters, really. Yes, we can really resonate with a practice, or we can really resonate with a tradition or a path. Great. It's not that that's anything negative. It's about understanding. It's not about that. It's about what that is pointing towards. And that's about being present, being aware. So know anytime that you find yourself in a spiral or really in a stressful moment, what do you need to do in order to become more present to shift that energy? For a lot of us, sometimes mindfulness practices, meditation practices, movement, if we move, we're changing the energy. Whatever kind of movement that is made consciously allows you to come back into your body and to be able to shift the energy so that you're more present. Or you can use your breath. Deep breathing or different techniques of breathing can bring you into the present moment. Using your thoughts as well to come back into the present moment. You need to figure out what it is that's going to work for you to come back into the present moment. And when you're not, just come back whenever you notice that you're not. And don't get stuck in the blame or the guilt or whatever it is that you might judge about not being present in those moments. I would love to know for you, what is the antidote for stress? Is it presence? Is it something else? How is it in your experience? Let us know in the comments everywhere that you're finding this episode. And as always, thank you for being there, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
What did you like the most about this episode? Take a moment to think about what change you can make in your life today.
Share your conscious action on social media using #ConsciousAction and tagging @ConsciousActionNZ so we can celebrate your impact on the world and create a ripple effect.
One easy action we would love for you to take right now is to share, like, and subscribe to this podcast. This will help us get these messages out into the world and inspire more people to take conscious action in their own lives, contributing to the better world we hope for.